Live from Buchart's Liberty Street Restaurant in the downtown Galleria, it's the Paul Hornung Sports Showcase with your host, College and Pro Football Hall of Famer, Paul Hornung. Brought to you by UPS. We run the tightest ship in the shipping business. By the Collins Auto Group, where one name means more. More selection, more value, more service. By Humana, high-quality healthcare services at affordable prices. By Coors Light, there's no slowing down the silver bullet. By your local Chi-Chi's Mexican restaurant, where every day is a celebration of food. And now, here's Paul.
Welcome. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We got a rowdy group here tonight. Welcome. Thank you very much. And welcome to the Liberty Street Restaurant, folks. We're downtown live from Store Cable Channel 11. I just want to say we're hoping to have Ted Schultz on for you tonight, the great golfer from Ballard, University of Louisville. In fact, a lot of people don't know that Ted Schultz, one of the great golfers, grew up around here. He practiced a lot at Louisville Country Club, and we were hoping to have him a little brief stint with him today, but he's down playing in one more tournament. He needs about $16,000 to qualify for the Nabisco. So we wish him a lot of luck, and we're going to have him on the next couple of weeks. And Kentucky, of course, comes back, and boy, what a job they've got this weekend. Auburn hasn't lost 2 games since Pat Dye took over as head coach, so Kentucky's got its hands full. U of L's got a week off, and of course they're getting ready for Southern Mississippi. And I thought this would be a great week for you to take a look at some of the great players at the University of Louisville. We're going to start off. We're going to have Browning Nagel tonight, and Chad Fortune, and Alan Douglas, and yeah, come on, let's welcome them. And Mark Sanders, Carwell Gardner, and I'm going to have some fun with these young men, and they're going to be with us in just 1 minute, so you stay right there.
Some insurance didn't even pay for your mom's allergy shots.
Or your cold last month. And because I didn't reach the deductible, it didn't pay for my stitches.
Humana has a range of plans to meet your needs. From affordable deductibles to no deductible at all.
Sue, what did my company insurance cover last year?
Nothing.
If you want coverage you can use, you want Humana.
One name means more. Collins.
More of everything Kentuckiana car buyers want. More value, more selection, and more convenience. A Collins family dealership can show you the right car at the right price because our high volume means lower prices and better service. Count on Bill Collins Ford, Royal Dodge, King Chrysler, Good Buick, and Good Suzuki to deliver more. There's no need to settle for less.
One name means more. Collins.
Come see us today.
Every night while you're sleeping, UPS is maintaining its status as the only company that delivers overnight to every address coast to coast. And we guarantee it with UPS Next Day Air. And because we're so efficient, we'll still do it for up to half what other companies charge, which is guaranteed to cause our competition some sleepless nights. UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
We could have been satisfied being the home of the chimichanga. After all, a chimichanga is the Chi-Chi's celebration, all wrapped up in a tortilla. But hearing you say wow wasn't enough, so we created the Cowabunga Chimichanga Special. It's our famous chimichanga plus cheese, nachos, and sopapillas, all for $6.95. Wow, you say? No, Cowabunga.
A celebration of food.
I thought this would be a Halloween like any other when my secretary Susie came in.
The Phantom of the fridge is stealing all the Coors Light.
Beer?
Not now, thanks. I'm driving.
Who was the Phantom? And why was it stealing Coors Light this Halloween?
Enter the Coors Light $100,000 Phantom of the Fridge sweepstakes. Look for clues at this Halloween display and get your Coors Light before the Phantom does.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I tell you, We got a nice crowd in here tonight from Grand Rapids, Michigan. So, all right. We got some out-of-towners here tonight. And before we start talking a little football, I want to mention one thing. Next Tuesday night, downtown at the Hyatt, the Junior Diabetes Association is going to give their award for the Man of the Decade. And that's Denny Crum. And we want to just give it a little plug, folks. We're all going to be there. It's going to be a great dinner. John Wooden, the great basketball coach at UCLA, is going to be the featured speaker. It's $100. I think it's a couple. It might be a piece. Who cares? Because it's all going to charity. It's a write-off. And I want to see you down there. So we're going to have some fun. And where's Buddy Demling? Is my man Buddy Demling around here? Yes, sir. Let's congratulate him, the PGA senior champion. Has won 3 or 4 tournaments this year. Every time I bring Buddy out to Audubon, he comes out and I say, what's your handicap? He says 4 or 5 and then shoots 71, the big thief. And then he goes out on tour and wins all the senior tournaments around here. He's 53 years old, he told me. I guess in a couple more years I'll be, you have to be 50 to play on that tour, right, buddy? A couple more years I'll be eligible for that, buddy. Nice, nice. Well, anyway, tonight it's U of L night. And I tell you one thing, there's what a turnaround this team has made in the last couple of years. And I got 2 young guys here, both from Louisville, both Louisville products, boy. And I know that Hard's happy to have them. Mark Sanders, their leading tackler, sitting over here to my right. What a linebacker he is. From DeSales High School, if that's right. That's right. And from Trinity, Carwell Gardner, who's probably the biggest surprise we've had around here in a long time. And first of all, let me start off with Mark. Mark's a defensive linebacker. You know, I saw some of your tape this week against Kansas. We're going to show it in a little bit, not right now, but I tell you, so far you're 3-1, Mark. And it's been a very, I know that one against West Virginia was a tough one to swallow. You thought you were a better ball club. But tell us a little something about the season. How's it gone defensively for you? You're still leading the team in tackles.
Yeah, that's true. Defensively, things are going real well for us. I think we've improved in great strides over last year's defensive football team. We're still not where we want to be just yet because we're still making those little mistakes that could cost us in a key situation in a ball game. But defensively, I think all 11 starters have improved dramatically. That way our defense can get better, and we just need to hold down on the little errors.
Mm-hmm. And Carwell's, you know, I love the camaraderie that defensive football players have with offensive football players. A lot of people say, you know, the defense sticks together and the offense sticks together. That's all well and good, but I tell you one thing, I've seen a lot of it. When you come off that field and Carwell makes a nice run or something, you're patting him on the back and vice versa. You know, when the defense makes a good stick or something, that offense, they kind of like that. And this guy might have been playing with you as a linebacker.
Yeah, well, him being at Trinity and I being at DeSales, I knew who he was. Of course, he was at UK when I came here. But today we had a fun practice today. We got after it a little bit, and we got a little camaraderie going. Mm-hmm. You know, when you come up and hit head-to-head like we did today, you just kind of, well, he hit the ground after I hit him, but no. But I picked him up, and he, you know, you just laugh and everything like that. So when it comes ball game time, you're cheering everybody on.
You know, I got a special feeling for Carwell, and we talked last year when he's going through rehabilitation on his shoulder, and he really worked hard to get that. Carwell, you came from the University of Kentucky. You were an all-SEC linebacker. I know you wanted to play defense here, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. That was still in my mind.
And Hard wanted you to play offense. You kept telling me what? I want to play defense, didn't you?
For a little bit, and then I realized, you know, he wanted me to play offense to help out the team, so I figured, well, why not play?
I told you, didn't I, when you scored one of those touchdowns, you got another one, you start feeling a little bit different about running the football.
Yeah, I guess you can say I felt like I'd been there for a while, and then started coming on to it, and it was like, well, I'm having fun at it. Why not keep it up and see how long I can continue it?
Well, Carwell is, of course, the leading rusher for the University of Louisville. He's also the leading pass receiver with 18 catches, 5 touchdowns. And did you believe that I know you got a lot of confidence in yourself, but I mean, this is a lot of success for such a switch. You only got 1 year to play here at the university, and it's been a damn good start.
Yeah, well, it surprised me from the start. I didn't think I'd come out and do this good. I mean, I was hoping I'd have a pretty good year. You know, being my last year, I had my mind set that I'm going to try to end this last year in a bang. So I guess, you know, being
You know, when I look at you, I see Alonzo Highsmith, and I told Schnellenberger, I said, I think he's quicker than Highsmith. He got a little more speed. He's 6'2", 230 pounds, and you have an opportunity to be a #1 draft choice. I know you don't think about that right now, but that's kind of heavy coming from a defensive background, and you know it's a real pat on the back for I think Schnellenberger. Of course, I'm very high on Hart. I think he's a great coach. To see that, you know, and to see in a young man the opportunity to put him on offense and to really utilize him. You know, I know you and I talked. You wanted to play defense.
Yeah, I was
all
stuck
along.
on that defense side. I mean, after all, growing up and playing defense, you get used to it after a while. And then coming down here and playing offense. But I'm starting to like offense. It's not bad.
What about Southern Mississippi, Mark? You have a little something to mention about it?
Yeah, well, I would love to have him over there on defense with me.
Maybe we get hard playing both ways.
Yeah, Southern Miss, good ball team. Coach Lance told me today, the more he looks at film on them, he says they're that much better of a team, and it's going to take an all-out effort for us to play against them. He says their quarterback, Brett Favre, is a pure passer, so we're going to have to play tough on defense.
Thanks to AdCraft, which produces Hard Show, we've got some film here. I want you to take a look. And I want to ask Mark and Carwell to talk over this as we take a look. This is from the Kansas game, and I think you'll see a talent that hasn't been seen for U of L in a long, long time. This is a little picture, little off-tackle plays. Carwell running over 4 or 5 people. I tell you, that's the way you like to hit people. You could see that. Maybe that comes from playing defense.
Yeah, I don't have the instinct of a running back right now, which I wish I had. I mean, you know, being out there and watching film, seeing the mistakes that I make, the holes that I should have hit, you know, just not being used to the offensive side.
Well, I want to tell you,
it'll come to me.
I've seen you in a lot of film this year, and Carwell, I don't mean to pat you on the back, but you got awful good instincts running the football, and with your hands, this is, of course, Browning Nagel, who we'll have up here next. Good pair of hands right here, a little flat pass. And I tell you, Nagel likes this little pitch out there to you, doesn't he? I see him every time I look at the films, he likes this pass.
I love that pass.
Yeah. Now we're going to take a look at Mark as Kansas runs a little delayed draw. That's number 48, Mr. Sander there, putting the poppers on him.
Yeah. D-line helped me out that game. Draws also an
And Ted Warshitt is again having another great year, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing well up front. Him and Danny Gangwer. He doesn't get all the highlight that Ted does. Danny's a head smart player, and Ted, he's just a physical player. But they both help me out up there.
You know, I've always said, you know, it takes a team to turn the corner to win on the road. You gotta have some good wins on the road to really get that confidence up. And I think this Kansas game, the way you all completely dominated both lines of the scrimmage, that was a lot. That meant a lot to growing up as far as the football team was concerned.
It did, especially when we were down. They kept getting those easy touchdown passes because defensively we weren't doing what we were supposed to do, and we just hung together and we shut them down, gave the ball back for our offense.
What about your brother Donnie down at he's the University of Kentucky? He's got a pretty tough week coming up, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a senior. He's having a pretty good year this year. This is probably going to be one of the biggest games for them. Everybody knows their offense isn't doing all that good, but I think if the defense can hold out for them, they can.
I like your earring. You got to get a shot of this. Turn around here. Get a shot of my man here. All right, sporting that Lawrence Taylor earring here. Lawrence Taylor was, well, I guess he still is your idol, right?
Oh, yeah.
As far as the game is concerned.
Growing up on the defensive side, Lawrence Taylor was one of my idols. I guess you could say him and Cornelius Bennett, I was in the same time and he was in there. And I used to always look up to that kind of a player because, you know, a player that could, I guess you'd say, take himself and pick himself up and play the game the way he does. So,
you know, it's a different game today, and I see, and I was just kidding him about the earring. A lot of athletes, football, baseball, and basketball players use. Every time I see it, I think of Lombardi, what he would have done. What is Hart? Has Hart ever seen your earring?
Oh, yeah, he's seen it before. He does not like it.
He does not like it?
He tells me to wear it on my own time. Don't wear it on the counter.
Don't wear it on Schnellenberger time, right? Well, I think I guarantee you one thing, Lombardi would have said the same thing. Mark, as I said, we got Southern Mississippi. What happened to Southern Mississippi? They come out, they beat Florida State, for heaven's sakes, and they fell apart.
They did. They came out and beat a good Florida State team. And when we saw that they beat them, we knew we had Southern Miss, weeks down the road. We were like, wow, it's going to be a tough team to play. But right now, heck, they've lost their last 4. And it's just one of those things that hasn't happened for them. They're playing good football, and it's going to be a good game, you know, the next week, just like the West Virginia game.
I'm going to tell you, I think this football game coming up for you guys, it's not a season buster or anything, but I'm going to tell you, you know, you get this one under your belt, and you're home. You're in front of your home folks. You know, this is the kind of game, Carwell, that could really just shoot you right over the top. You know, I was kidding Hard before the season started. I said, you know, Hard, 8-3 be one hell of a record for this year. 8-3, we're not going to be 8-3. We're going to be 9-2 or 10-1. You know. I mean, he makes everybody believe that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you know, he picks us up and tells us about how we can be a great team. You know, and everybody finally believing that we can be a great team. And this is going to be a real good season for us.
Okay, let's give it up for these two guys. They've had a great year. Mark Sander and Carwell Gardner. We'll be right back with Browning Nagel, Alan Douglas, and Chad Fortune. Just a minute.
To the people who work so hard to keep our city going, and here's to all the things you do to keep our city growing. Here's to the people we're looking to make this city's dreams come true. To the people, hard-working people, Bank of Louisville's here for you.
Beautiful furniture from who? Smith's Furniture, that's who. It brings out the best in everyone.
Gentlemen, call your mothers. This is a demonstration of 2 calls at 9 p.m. from L.A. to San Francisco.
Hello, Mom?
With MCI's new Prime Time, this 25-minute call costs 37% less than with AT&T.
Meatloaf, my favorite.
And Prime Time lets you save no matter how far you call or how long you talk.
Okay. Look, gotta go. Bye-bye.
So the choice that's right is the choice on the right. MCI's new Prime Time. Real savings 24 hours a day. Call now, get 1 month free.
Paul Hornung here for J.C. Bradford. You know, I've been investing with J.C. Bradford for over 20 years. Why? Well, first of all, I trust them. They know what they're doing here, and the bottom line is I've made money with J.C. Bradford. You don't have to have a large portfolio to get good service from Bradford's brokers. Here at Bradford, they treat everyone like a big investor. They really do care. So if you want to watch your money grow, call J.C. Bradford and let them go to work for you. I did.
When only the best is good enough, you'll always find the best at Roof Lighting. Diverse designs, superior styling, unsurpassed quality, and a professional staff to assist you. That's Roof. And opening soon, Roof's new lighting design center in Eastgate, just east of Middletown. An additional location to serve your total lighting needs. Roof Lighting, the complete lighting, design, and planning centers. Here for you because you deserve the very best.
Before I introduce you to 3 other gentlemen of the University of Louisville football team, I just want you to take a look. I don't know if everybody in Louisville has seen this yet or not. This is put out by the Sports Information Department of the University of Louisville. This is the Louisville Cardinal information book. And if you see one of these around, I really suggest that you buy it. It's a great book. And the people at the University of Louisville and Hard staff have put together a great book here on the university football team and the stats of last year and the whole shebang. It's really a nice book. Anyway, welcome. This is Browning Nagel, the quarterback, Alan Douglas, and Chad Fortune over here. Folks, let's hear it for him. But first of all, let's talk a little to Browning. Let's see. It says here in your bio you want to be a singer and a golfer. Is that right? Huh?
Well, I don't know about the singer and the golfer. I just want to be successful, and I just want the team to be successful.
Well, so far you've had a great career, and I think that in just the 4 games that you've played quarterback in U of L, you've changed it all. And I know, I'm talking to you in the offseason, you had a lot of confidence in yourself before this season started. Browning Nagel was going to succeed, wasn't he?
Well, you should know better than anybody that you have to have confidence in order to be successful. And yes, I had a little bit of self-confidence, but I knew that if I worked hard and did the things that I could do well, Coach would make it easy for himself to make a decision on who would be the starting quarterback.
Now, you sat out a year, didn't you?
Yes.
It's tough to sit out a year.
Yeah, it's very tough, really, because I sat out 3 years. I was redshirted at West Virginia. I sat out when I was here my first year because of NCAA regulations, and then sat out behind Jay Gruden. I got about a minute of playing time.
How did you get? How did you? You know, that's tough. That's tough for somebody who's. I know you got a lot of self-confidence. You think you could play, and you got to sit out a whole year. Jay Gruden had a great year throwing the football, but as far as a person's own abilities, you never doubted that. It's tough to sit over there on that bench.
It is, but you know, a lot of family support goes into that. You know, Mom and Dad just always tell me that I can do it, just never give up. And watching behind Jay, I learned so many things that I really think of it as an advantage that, hey, he makes some mistakes and I learn from his mistakes. He made some great plays and I learned from those too. There's a lot of things to learn from that.
How about Allen? Is he taking care of business?
Hey, he's taking care of business. I just hope he gets healthy.
Well, they need you. How you feel now?
I feel fine. I'll definitely be ready to play against Southern Mississippi.
Chad, how about your ankle? How is it?
Feels good. Coming along real well.
Chad, of course, hasn't, outside of the Kansas game when I think, what, you caught 6 passes. He wants to get in there and catch a few more passes, and I tell you, he had such a great year last year, over 38 catches and 4 touchdowns. Let's take a look at some of the film. We've got some film of you young men against the University of Kansas, and just chime in here whenever you see that you made a great play. We can talk about it. All right, let's take a look. This is, of course, again, it's a little play that I think you like. Chad gets open over the middle. What about this little rollout?
Well, Chad, he's made a bunch of great plays on that play. I mean, he goes down for the ball. It's a little bit difficult to turn your shoulders and deliver the ball on time. And about 4 times this year, he's made a good first down catch, and he goes out for the ball.
The same play against, that was wide open. I think it's a replay of that same play. But it's so wide open here, and it, again, pretty good pass protection here, Browning.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. Oh, I got stung there.
Well, I tell you, you can deliver a blow. 6'2", 225 pounds, not too small for a quarterback. This is the pass protection that you like.
Yes, it is. My offensive line has just done a superb job last weekend against Cincinnati. I didn't get sacked once. I was sitting there in halftime, and I was thinking, geez, I feel great. I haven't been touched all game. And those are the kind of things you look forward to.
Chad, again, tell us a little bit more about the injury. I know it's hindered you, and what percentage to full tilt are you right now?
Right about now, I'm about 90%, I guess. I would say I've been out in practice both yesterday and today for the first time in about 2 weeks. You know, I went dressed for the West Virginia game and dressed for the Cincinnati game. It's more or less just an injury that it takes time to heal, and I hate having to sit out, and I hate not being able to play, but I should be fine by the time Southern Miss comes back.
Who goes out when you do? Listen, I know Schnellenberg. He keeps you out in the field a long time in the practices. He loves to practice, and I get over to see the toilet bowl. They have a little scrimmage, whatever, Monday or Tuesday, called the toilet bowl. If you don't play in the game, you get to have the opportunity to go over there and kill yourself, right?
I've seen many toilet bowls. I've had them for 2 years.
But that gets you ready.
Oh, it does, because you do the same things that the number ones and number twos do, and it gives you an opportunity to get that full scrimmage action, and it's a great thing.
Alan, let's talk a little about his singing, because I know he's a little bit bashful about it. They say you can't shut him up in the whirlpool, or is that true?
I don't know if that's true or not. Browning's I guess he's an above-average singer as far as that's concerned.
Play the guitar?
No, I don't play any instruments.
How about golf? Somebody told me you shot 78 Monday.
Yeah, I played. We had a day off, and I guarantee I took advantage of it. And I went out to Iroquois, and I was unconscious. I just shot a 78, and I had a great time. I just loved it.
Did you play by yourself and shoot a 78, or did you have somebody watching?
No. I took a couple baseball players out there and won a little money off of them.
How's your toe, for heaven's sake? Well, I want to tell you something. I saw his toe, ladies and gentlemen. I was in the locker room 3 days before the game, and his toe was about this big. And he said he was going to play, and I said, he's got to be crazy. And I don't think Coach felt, he was just amazed.
Well, it really came down to how hard I wanted it. And Mike O'Shea just did a tremendous job. When we were getting the cast on it, it was going to be on for 2 weeks, and that was it. But Mike just did a great job, and, I can't thank him enough for the things that he's done and the preparation that he allowed me to get for this game.
Yeah, Mike's here. We're going to get a shot of him over here somewhere. The trainer, voted trainer of the year. We'll get a camera up there when we come back and show you the best trainer in the United States up there. And a lot of players think that, right?
Got my vote.
Without steroids, right? No more steroids. This is a steroid-free organization, University of Louisville. Now, let me ask you a question. That's been a hard thing to talk about all over the United States, and especially in the pro ranks. Steroids are dangerous for the young men. What do you say to the young men in high school? And I'm sure you see them, you come in contact with them. You know, this thing is so dangerous, we've got to stop it.
What can you say? There's really not one thing you can tell a young athlete that, hey, you can't do that, it's going to hurt you. He's got to be able to see it for himself. A friend of his that may just become totally involved in steroids and enthralled by how big they make them, and then all of a sudden he sees the side effects. It's really got to be something that he has to figure out for himself. It's terrible, and all the literature you see about it nowadays, he's just got to be able to learn his own lesson.
Alan, let's talk a little about Southern Mississippi. Have y'all gotten into the films yet?
Yes, we started in the films yesterday.
How do they look defensively?
They are a very fast team. They're all their defense has good, quick feet, and they run the ball very effectively. They're intense, and they're very deceiving to be a 1-4 football team right now.
How about Latrell Ware? He's starting to run like I think he knows how.
That's good to see. When you're an offensive lineman, there's nothing better than to see a running back giving everything he's got, because it makes you feel that much better.
Chad, does it look like the tight ends could have a pretty good day against Southern Miss?
Yeah, it looks like a real good day for me, or whoever we start. It's a good day for throwing the ball. They play the basic defense.
Before we go, I want to ask Browning. Browning, it's pretty good to be in Kentucky, isn't it?
Oh, it's great.
Enjoy it here?
Great opportunity.
Got another year?
3-1. Got another year
I
left.
guarantee you, you will not be drafted any later than the top 25 football players in America if you do everything that Hard says. That's what he told me.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to do everything in my power to do everything he says.
Good luck to all of you against Southern Miss, and let's welcome it for this fine U of L bunch. We got a special little tape earlier today. The College Football Foundation Hall of Fame was in town. It's going to be up in Lexington, Kentucky. And when we come back, I want you to take a look at it with me. Y'all did a hell of a job. Thank you.
I never imagined that a prescription would cost $80.
My insurance keeps going up, and it doesn't even cover prescriptions.
The Humana Gold Plan can cover prescriptions, vision care, and all Medicare-eligible doctors and hospital costs.
There's so much Medicare still doesn't cover.
Chances are the Humana Gold Plan covers it.
It's all so complicated.
No, it's all so easy. Call 1-800-647-0070 now.
For Kentuckiana truck buyers, one name means more: Collins.
Bill Collins Ford and Royal Dodge are your regional truck centers. We've delivered over 20,000 trucks in northern Kentucky and southern Indiana. We understand the special needs of the truck buyer, and we respond with the right truck at the right price. Trucks for work or play. At Collins Ford and Royal Dodge, we give you more of what you want. Lower prices and better service.
One name means more: Collins.
More truck for less money.
We could have been satisfied being the home of the chimichanga. After all, a chimichanga is the Chi-Chi's celebration, all wrapped up in a tortilla. But hearing you say wow wasn't enough. So we created the Cowabunga Chimichanga Special. It's our famous chimichanga plus cheese, nachos, and sopapillas, all for $6.95. Wow, you say? No, Cowabunga.
For help with the design and purchase of a new air compressor, you need Air Systems. For service or repair of your present system, you need Air Systems. For parts and lubricants for your air compressors, you need Air Systems. If your compressed air system fails at any time of the day or night, you need Air Systems. I'm Jim Turner, owner and president of Air Systems. If you need a new air compressor, parts, repair service, or emergency rental, call me at Air Systems in Louisville.
This is the shop of Samsat Bazaar, a thriving establishment on the outskirts of Bangkok. Unlike other international executives, he has no phone system, no computers, not even a fax machine. He does, however, enjoy one modern and efficient service nearly 4 billion people in 175 countries today can take for granted. UPS. We run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
On exhibit today here at the Galleria, just below the windows of the Liberty Street Restaurant, is the National Football Foundation Traveling College Hall of Fame. Now, if you're a football fan, I'm sorry you missed this, because this is a traveling exhibit of what college football was all about from its very start. It'll be on display up at the University of Kentucky, Auburn versus UK this week. It'll be at other campuses all over the United States, and it's really a great way to look back at college football. We have the All-Americans from the University of Kentucky, for instance, Bob Gain, Babe Pirelli, Paul Bear Bryant, all inducted into the College Hall of Fame. And on exhibit here is one of the Heisman trophies. This is one Heisman trophy that belonged to Archie Griffin, the great running back of Ohio State. Actually, he's the only guy that won two, so he can afford to lend one to the College Football Hall of Fame. But this is a great way to look at college football, even from the early days of Newt Rockne. On display here at the College Hall of Fame also is Newt Rockne's famous speech. Also, all kind of football facts and legends about the great players. So if you're ever in the area, and remember, it's going to be down in Lexington this weekend, go take a look at the College Hall of Fame. It's free, and through the efforts of USF&G, we're happy to be able to bring it to you. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the UPS College Football lineup with Paul's Picks and College. First of all, I want to say a special thank you to UPS, one of our sponsors, of course. They really jumped in a couple years ago and helped out giving some of these U of L football and basketball players jobs in the summer when they're around here. And we want to be, truthful and say they really have helped in the community, and they've helped this show. And now let's take a look at some of the games involving our teams in the area. Of course, U of L's at a bye. Indiana, I think, will roll, of course, against Northwestern University. Northwestern, of course, one of the low echelon teams in the Big Ten. Indiana, of course, on a resurgence under Bill Mowry, and we hope to have Bill Mowry a little bit later on in December down here talking about this fine Indiana Hoosier team with their great running back, Mr. Thompson, Anthony Thompson. So it looks like Indiana will beat Northwestern easily. Now here I think may be the easiest game. I was at Purdue last week. I do all the Notre Dame games, and I happened to see Purdue play, and they're not too good a football team right now. And Minnesota playing at home really should have no problem over Purdue. Minnesota not the best of football teams in the Big Ten, but I think they got enough to beat Purdue. Purdue's going to have some problems this year. Notre Dame moves out to Stanford and Palo Alto, and I'm going to go out for that football game. The only great thing about that is, of course, my wife gets to go out to San Francisco and buy some shoes for the whole weekend. That's about the most important thing our family will have together in common with San Francisco. But anyway, Notre Dame should really should roll again over Stanford. Stanford doesn't have even the talent that they're capable of having up to their limit. So they're on a down year. Usually they can throw the football around pretty good. They're going to have to throw it around a lot. Notre Dame's coming on. Rice, Tony Rice, the Heisman Trophy candidate for Notre Dame, went for 350 yards last week against Purdue and only about a little over a half. So Notre Dame's starting to roll a little bit on offense, and they should have no trouble with Stanford. And now the big game around here, the Auburn Tigers against the Wildcats. Of course, this game was switched. A lot of Auburn fans don't like it because they like to travel up to Lexington, Kentucky. And the opening of Keeneland, of course. They've got a $100,000 race, of course, at Keeneland to open it up. But anyway, Auburn fans like to go to the races. And then, of course, they like to go to the football game at 7:30 at night. They changed that all around. It's going to be on WTBS. So the game is going to be in the afternoon, and that angers a lot of Auburn fans. It angers a lot of Kentucky fans. So Kentucky has got their hands full. Auburn, as I said at the start of the show, Pat Dye, fine Auburn football team, has never lost 2 games in a row in the SEC since he became head coach of Auburn. So I think Auburn, who is probably a touchdown favorite over Kentucky anyway, away from home, they're going to come out fired up. This could be a real tough football game for a while, but I think Auburn's strength will probably, in the end, be too much for Kentucky. This is a real good SEC contest. Florida, a 3-point underdog over LSU. LSU is favored by 3 points against Florida. They're playing at LSU, and I like Florida in an upset. For some reason, the Florida Gators have an easy time with LSU over the period of years. They've won like 7 out of the last 8, and I don't see any change. I think Florida may be on a roll, and LSU is having problems. Tommy Hodson, their great quarterback, he had better years when he was a freshman and sophomore than junior and a senior. He really hasn't been consistent. Consistency is the word they're trying to find at LSU, and they haven't been able to find it in that young quarterback. So Florida, I think, will have a little bit edge over LSU. And then, of course, U of L has the bye, and they'll get ready next week at Cardinal Stadium. There's going to be over 37,000 fans again for that football game. And as we said, Southern Mississippi, we're going to take a look at that game next week. And I can tell you right now, Southern Mississippi is going to lose their 5th game in a row by the time that weekend comes along. Yeah. So that's a UPS college football forecast, and when we come back, I got a very special NFL piece. We entitled it Bombs Away, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So you stay right where you are. We'll be right back.
In places beyond the reach of other overnight delivery companies, you'll find UPS. Because unlike the competition, only UPS Next Day Air guarantees delivery overnight to every single address coast to coast. And because we're so efficient, we can do it for up to half what other companies charge, whether the place is hard to reach or easy to reach. UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
One name means more. Collins.
Excellent customer service is a tradition at every Collins dealership. Bill Collins Ford, Royal Dodge, King Chrysler, Good Buick, and Good Suzuki. Rated in the top 5% of hundreds of dealers nationwide, independent factory surveys clearly show that we have many satisfied customers. For quality customer service today and tomorrow, the name to remember is Collins.
One name means more. Collins.
More service with more care.
I thought this would be a Halloween like any other when my secretary Susie came in.
The Phantom of the fridge is stealing all the Coors Light.
Beer?
Not now, thanks. I'm driving.
Who was the Phantom? And why was it stealing Coors Light this Halloween?
Enter the Coors Light $100,000 Phantom of the Fridge sweepstakes. Look for clues at this Halloween display and get your Coors Light before the Phantom does.
Okay, we're back. And before I introduce you to this NFL film piece, which I think is an excellent one again from NFL Films out of Philadelphia, there's a rumor going around today. I don't know if it's official. I don't think it was. I tried to pick up on it. I understand that Herschel Walker may be traded, the great Dallas Cowboy running back who's having his problems right now. I think he's gained about, in 4 games, he's gained like 125 yards or something, which is well below his game average almost, but he's not too happy in Dallas. And we've been reading about a lot of trouble in Minnesota. The Vikings not only they may be having a little bit of race problems up there because of salaries. Now, Mike Lynn is one of the toughest general managers in all of professional football, and he's having a lot of trouble with Joey Browner, and he signed Keith Millard. But I understand that today Dallas was rumored as trying to make a trade for Joey Browner and Keith Millard, the great defensive end. He is a good one, to go down to Dallas, and in turn they get Herschel Walker. So we'll keep our ear out. If it doesn't happen in the next couple of days, something's brewing, because somebody called me today and told me about that thing. So we're going to be trying to get an interview for you next week on this show if things work out down in Dallas. Now, as I said, the NFL Films in Philadelphia, they are the big daddy as far as films are concerned with professional football. They do such an outstanding job. I think our piece last week that came out of Philadelphia is one of the best, but they also sent me one hell of a piece this week, because I tell you, when you think about college football, professional football, anything, I think the kickoff is the most exciting play in football. But outside of that, when everybody's backed against the wall, it's bombs away, and when the quarterback lets loose with the 50 or 60-yard bomb, that really is what made professional football what it is. And they sent us a piece that I think you're going to enjoy, and we titled it Bombs Away.
There are bombs, and like the Edsel, there are bombs. When Wall Street bombed, stocks spiraled to an all-time low. But it is the upward spiral of another kind of bomb that uplifts football fans everywhere. The bomb is pro football's boldest offensive play. The risks are great, but the rewards are even greater.
It's matchups, it's clearance for the quarterback, it's the timing of the throw, and the distance of the throw. You need clearance between the pass rush and the quarterback so we can stride into his throw. Secondly, the throw should be timed. Many, many years ago with Ken Anderson and Isaac Curtis, we timed our throw to 45 yards. Kenny was throwing that ball, it was dropping in between 45 and 47 yards every time we completed it. So you want to time that pass.
3 yards in a cloud of dust doesn't jerk fans from their seats. The bomb does. To make the bomb even more explosive, the NFL almost regularly adopts rules to keep the fuse lit. When the pass rushers began to ground aerial attacks, offensive linemen were allowed to extend their arms and wrestle with their sack-minded opponents. Defenses then sought to ban the bomb by blitzing. Blitzing is an invitation.
When you get more blitzing, you get one-on-one coverage down on the outside people. And you might as well take your shot, because if you could just ask the defense, would you please cover us one-on-one so we can throw the bomb and see how we do, that's what you would hope for. Quarterbacks are getting a little better at reading the blitz, and they're audibling to the long bomb or to the go pattern or streak pattern.
The bomb can shatter the blitz to pieces, but now soft zones are clogging the deep lane, so offensive strategists have developed a new version of the bomb. While the scoring summary reads, Montana to Rice, 58 yards, the pass actually traveled just 10 yards.
He's to the 30. Taylor gives him a block. He's down to the 10. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers.
Every team has a game breaker at wide receiver, and now you don't have to throw it deep to create a big play. Guys can turn the quick slant into a big play. It's a bomb, so to speak. It just doesn't travel as longer in the air. And I think, but now the guys come out of school are so fast. I mean, you got guys that can outrun defenses, period. And you got the big, strong quarterbacks that can throw it to the next county. So look for a lot of big, long passes in the future.
In the future, arms reduction in the NFL isn't likely. The bomb is certain to become more sophisticated and even more successful. While fans won't mind the fallout, defensive backs will have to duck and cover.
I thought this would be a Halloween like any other when my secretary Susie came in.
The Phantom of the Fridge is stealing all the Coors Light.
Beer?
Not now, thanks. I'm driving.
Who was the Phantom? And why was it stealing Coors Light this Halloween?
Enter the Coors Light $100,000 Phantom of the Fridge sweepstakes. Look for clues at this Halloween display and get your Coors Light before the Phantom does.
Do you know me? A few of you may not. That's why I carry this, the Lot of Gold card, the new instant game from the Kentucky Lottery. To apply for this card, just pay $2. The more numbers you match, the more you win. Up to $15,000 instantly. And a chance at $1 million. Now everybody knows me.
Aren't you John Travolta?
No.
Mickey Rooney?
No.
Andy Rooney?
No.
The Lot of Gold card. You can't win 15 grand without it.
You're Tom Selleck.
Right.
Mr. Ian McKenzie. I'm Angus McKenzie. Ian's moved down the road.
Today, with service to 175 countries,
Oh, you've been wanting Ian Alistair Mackenzie.
UPS delivers to nearly 4 billion people,
Also for McKenzie.
including the extraordinary concentration of Mackenzies along the northeast coast of Scotland.
Mr. Ian Alistair Mackenzie. No trouble finding him, did you, lad? No trouble at all.
UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
One name means more. Collins.
Get more value and dependability in a Collins used car. Whether the vehicle has Bill Collins, Royal Dodge, King Chrysler, Good Buick, or Good Suzuki on the back, it's the Collins reputation that's on the road. We sell only the cream of the crop. Make your selection from over 1,000 quality used cars and trucks. If you want more used car value, why settle for less?
One name means more. Collins.
We make it easy.
You know, folks, and welcome back to the Coors Light, the NFL lineup for the week. Of course, is Paul's picks. And what we do here, we want to invite each and every one of you sitting at home. If you're not going to watch the showcase on Store Channel 11, we'll invite you to come down here. We got a wonderful restaurant here. You can order off the menu. You can have a beer. You can have a Coke. Just come on in. There's no charge. You know, a lot of people walk up to me on the street here in Louisville and say, how much does it cost to come into the show? It doesn't cost a thing. We want to see you. Come on down here and enjoy a live, probably the only live show that I think is shot in Louisville. So we're having a lot of fun with it. Live television is a little bit different. And what we do is we pass out a little sheet of paper here. It's called Beat Paul's Picks. Last week I was 8-6 again, so that's now 4 weeks. I'm 6 games over 500 as far as picking games out against the spread. Now, if you beat me, you get to, this goes into a packet at the end of the year. We draw your name out, you will get 2 Super Bowl tickets. So we have a little fun down here and seeing how many games we can pick. I was 8-6, as I said. Only 19 out of 200 last week picked 9 winners. So it's a little bit more difficult when you think when we're going up against the number. Now, let's take a look at the slate for the 5th week. The first game we're going to take a look at is Buffalo travels to Indianapolis, where the Colts are back home. And there's no number up here. Why? Because it's a dead even ball game. This is a picket ball game. The Colts defense has not allowed a touchdown the last 2 football games. Colts are 7-1 straight up at home the last 8 football games. And they usually beat the number at home. And this is a real tough football game. And I really think that Jim Kelly, you know, when you have a great defense, you have a tendency to have a conservative offense. Somehow that goes together. Ted Marchibroda is the offensive coordinator for Buffalo. They turned Jim Kelly loose a couple of weeks ago down in Houston. He threw for 5 touchdown passes. I think if they have a little bit different thinking offensively, they'll put a lot more points on the board. It's a good football team. But Indianapolis, I'm going to give them the edge just because of home field. The Giants are at Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is 2.5-point favorites. This is a definite. Here it is, the 5th game of the season. This is, folks, a must game for Philadelphia. Randall Cunningham and folks are 2-2. The Giants are 4-0. They're also 4-0 against the spread. They have yet to lose a football game. Philadelphia last year beat the Giants twice. They're going to have to do it again if they're going to get to the playoffs. This is a much more important game for Philadelphia than it is New York, and I think you'll see a wild bunch of Eagles, and I'm going to take Philadelphia at home and lay the 2.5 points. The Bengals travel to Pittsburgh, and of course, this is always a rivalry, a tough football game, but I just think the Bengals have got a much better football team than Pittsburgh, and I like Cincinnati again. Cleveland is at Miami. Now, Cleveland and Miami, they have a lot in common. Nobody can run the football. Cleveland lost their rushing attack, and that's hurt Bernie Kosar. Cleveland is not the football team it was 2 or 3 years ago, and I think they've dropped the notch. They're down in Miami, and I just don't believe that Dan Marino can have 2 poor football games in a row. So I'm going to take the home team dog. I'm taking Miami plus the 3.5 points. Detroit is at Minnesota. Well, Detroit's got a lot of problems. Minnesota's got a lot of problems. But the big problem is Detroit has got a new quarterback. It's got a new offensive coach. They got a new system. And this takes a lot of time to learn. Minnesota playing at home, even though they got a lot of problems internally, I like Minnesota. This is one of the best bets, I think. Minnesota put 35 points on the board. Houston, quickly, 4 points favored over the New England Pats. This, as I told you in the first week of the season, I said, this is a terrible football team. They've got also problems on and off the field. And sure enough, they went out and won the first football game. But since then, everything's come true. New England's lost 3 in a row. They're going to lose 4 in a row, even though they're playing at home. I love Houston. And Dallas is playing at Green Bay. Now, it's always tough to bet on Green Bay and lay 7.5 points. I understand that. But I tell you, Dallas is really having their problems. They are one of they got a young quarterback. Walsh has got a lot of pressure on him, and I just think Green Bay playing at home will roll over Dallas. And we'll be right back with the rest of the Coors Light scoreboard after this.
I thought this would be a Halloween like any other when my secretary Susie came in.
The Phantom of the Fridge is stealing all the Coors Light.
Beer?
Not now, thanks. I'm driving.
Who was the Phantom? And why was it stealing Coors Light this Halloween?
Enter the Coors Light $100,000 Phantom of the Fridge sweepstakes. Look for clues at this Halloween display and get your Coors Light before the Phantom does.
We could have been satisfied being the home of the chimichanga. After all, a chimichanga is the Chi-Chi's celebration, all wrapped up in a tortilla. But hearing you say wow wasn't enough, so we created the Cowabunga Chimichanga Special. It's our famous chimichanga plus cheese nachos and sopapillas, all for $6.95. Wow, you say? No, Cowabunga.
Chi-Chi, a celebration of food.
Some insurance didn't even pay for your mom's allergy shots.
Or your cold last month. And because I didn't reach the deductible, it didn't pay for my stitches.
Humana has a range of plans to meet your needs, from affordable deductibles to no deductible at all.
Sue, what did my company insurance cover last year?
Nothing.
If you want coverage you can use, you want Humana.
Paul Hornung here for J.C. Bradford. You know, I've been investing with J.C. Bradford for over 20 years. Why? Well, first of all, I trust them. They know what they're doing here, and the bottom line is I've made money with J.C. Bradford. You don't have to have a large portfolio to get good service from Bradford's brokers. Here at Bradford, they treat everyone like a big investor. They really do care. So if you want to watch your money grow, call J.C. Bradford and let them go to work for you. I did. Welcome back to the Coors Light scoreboard, NFL's Paul's Picks. And before we get into taking a look at the last 7 or 8 games, you know, for the last 5 or 6 years, the NFC has really dominated professional football over the AFC. And it looks as if we've started out, we've got 25% of the season already over with. We've got 3 undefeated teams in the National Football Conference. The Rams, of course, are leading their division. And I really don't think they're the best team in that conference. I still think the 49ers are. They trail the Rams with the 3-1 record, of course, having lost to the Rams last week. Then we take a look at the Bears. They're going to dominate their division. They've been in first place for something like 5 years in their division. Nobody's even challenged them in the NFC Central. And the New York Giants are off to a 4-0 start, which I think that'll come to an end. But they're racking up a lot of victories. It looks as if the NFC is just a little strong. And it's really odd that the power structure of the National Football League swings back and forth over a period of years. For the last 10 or 12 years, the NFC's been stronger. Before that, it was the AFC. Now, let's take a look at the rest of the Coors Light NFL Paul's Picks. We go to the Bears. The Bears are traveling to Tampa Bay. Now, one thing about the Bears have completely dominated this series. I'm taking a look at the stats here. The Bears are 18-4 the last 22 games against Tampa Bay. That's all they played. They're 15-3-1 against the spread playing Tampa Bay. Now, anybody in the right mind would pick the Bears. Not me. I'm going to go for the home team. Testaverde had a bad outing against the Vikings last week, and I think he's improved enough where he's going to get by the Bears. It might be one of the upsets of the day. At home, I'm taking Tampa Bay plus the 4.5. Phoenix is at Washington. Now, Washington had 2 must games. They lost their first 2, if you remember correctly. And now Washington is a 10-point favorite over Phoenix. Washington is 5-12 against the number, it says here, as a home team favorite. 10 points is a lot of points now, the way the parity, as they call parity in the National Football League is. I like Phoenix. Take the 10 on that one, although I think Washington will win it maybe by 7. Atlanta goes out to the Rams, and anybody in their right mind would take the Rams here. I mean, they're 4-0, undefeated, but I think the Rams are in for a little letdown. They had their big game last week out at Candlestick, and now they come back home to entertain the Rams. Funny thing about the Rams is, and keep in mind, the Rams are 4-0 against the spread. I don't know why, but I'm going to take the 10.5 points. Atlanta, the last 10 times, has played the Rams. They've beaten the number 7. They won 7 out of 10 against the number with the Rams. So I'm going to say that Atlanta's going to do it again. Let's take the 10.5 point. San Diego is at Denver. Denver 7.5 points. And the last 7 meetings, Denver has completely dominated the Chargers, and I don't see any. They're great at home. They won every game at home last year, and they're the most improved team in the National Football League. So let's take Denver here in one of the best bets of the day and lay the 7.5. Now we move up. Kansas City and Seattle. Seattle is a strong 7-point favorites here, and I just love Seattle. Seattle has won the last 5 games at home by an average of 28 points over Kansas City. So I think that stat tells a lot. So let's take Seattle and lay the 7 points. Now, the 49ers travel to New Orleans. This game was supposed to be played in San Francisco, but no. Of course, the National League playoffs are in San Francisco Saturday and Sunday, so they're not going to play Candlestick. They're going to move this game to New Orleans. So New Orleans becomes the home team. San Francisco is a 3.5-point favorites, and I think that Montana, this is the best team on the road in professional football, the 49ers. They've won 3 in a row on the road, and I don't see New Orleans have got some problems with their quarterback. They're banged up. I like the 49ers and lay the 3.5 against the Saints. And the Raiders Monday night against the Jets. The Jets are 3-point favorites. It's hard to take the Jets anywhere in the world and lay 3 points. They're not that good a football team, although the Raiders are having their problems also. But Art Shell, and you have to say it, he's the first black head coach in the National Football League, and it's about time, folks, because this guy, of course, is one of the all-time great Raiders. He's a great football player, and I hope he becomes a great coach, because Al Davis, we all knew Al Davis would be the one to break that. And I think it says a lot for Al Davis and the Raiders, giving Art Shell an opportunity to become the first black head coach. We hope he's a successful one. First game for this man, and I'll tell you one thing, you're going to see a lot of Raiders Monday night. This is going to be like the Super Bowl for them. They are going to have some fun playing professional football for Art Shell. Now, next week, hopefully we're going to have Reggie Williams along with Chris Collingsworth. I know we're going to have Chris Collingsworth. He's going to come down, the fine flanker for the Cincinnati Bengals, who's now going into radio and television. Reggie Williams is going to be here. We've got some great shows lined up. Gale Sayers is going to be in here in early November. Joe Dean will be here for LSU when LSU plays Kentucky. We got Bobby Knight, hopefully on October 26th. And I got to say bye-bye. They say we're out of time. So we hope you enjoyed it. And if you can come down here in person, let's see you down here at Liberty Street. If not, stay right there. Store Cable Channel 11. Thank you very much.
The Paul Hornung Sports Showcase has been brought to you by UPS. We run the tightest ship in the shipping business. By the Collins Auto Group, where one name means more. More selection, more value, more service. By Humana, high-quality healthcare services at affordable prices. By Coors Light, there's no slowing down the silver bullet. By your local Chi-Chi's Mexican restaurant, where every day is a celebration of food.